When we were moving from Nashville to Dallas, someone I had just met gave me this hat. I love this hat. It gives me such confidence and it makes me feel bold. And I needed it because if you've ever done a cross country move, it's not easy. In fact, it's something that requires a lot of courage. Now, we were pulling up a lot of routes from Nashville. We weren't heading west on covered wagons, but it was still tough. Think about it. You've got to time it. And so we sold our house in Nashville. We're headed with 10 people, 6 vehicles, and I get a call from the real estate agent that our house in Dallas didn't close. Well, I said to him, well, we're coming. We've got to have some place to sleep. Call the owners and ask them if we can just move in and we'll close on Monday. Well, I later found out that it's unheard of to do that. With the simple signed paper, no money, we just moved in the house, moved all of our furniture, and then on Monday, we were set to close. So we ran into another snag. You see, our bank in Nashville was local. So when it came time for them to wire the money, it was a no-go. They said we had to come back to Nashville in order to send the money. Well, I walked out of that bank, walked into another, and I literally had this hat and I put it on. I walked into a Wells Fargo. Now, if you've ever been in a Wells Fargo, they have pictures of all the Wells Fargo transport and the buggies is a part of who they are. But we didn't have an account at Wells Fargo. So I walk in and I ask to see whoever's in charge. And with a big attitude and a big hat, I look at him and I say, there's got to be a way that we can work around this. So we got a banker from Tennessee Bank on the phone, and I kept pressing, there's got to be a loophole. And finally, he said, well, there is a loophole. I recognize your voice. I know you. So they wired the money, and we closed the house. Now, I know that seems like such a small story, and you probably have better stories than me, but I want you to know it made me feel like a badass. I mean, I really did. I felt like I had put this hat on, I took charge, and I was taking territory, and I wasn't going to take no for an answer. And I love that. I love how whenever you're at the point of traveling into a new place, you're reaching out, there's a boldness that's required. And sometimes you have to be a badass. Now, I hope that word doesn't offend you in any way. And in fact, what I'd love to know is I'd love for you to comment. Let me know if there is a time that you felt that you were a badass. I'd love to hear your stories. All right. Well, have a great night. I love hearing your comments. I love seeing what you're doing. I'd love to hear from you.